Hello? That was so strange. Hello? Hello? Working, they thought they kicked me off of Twitch. Hello? Who's back? It kicked everyone out. It disconnected. OBS is going through something. She's been having quite a time. I'll wait for a minute before I keep going. That was so scary. It really has. It really has. Let me put on Discord too. Just in case. Um Nice. Welcome back. It says we have 4 people watching. Now it says 53. Listen. Sometimes OBS is just going through something. And that's just what happened. That's simply what happened. What can you do? Okay, I'm gonna keep talking about the book. Hopefully we didn't lose that many people actually, but we'll see. It was so scary. I hate when it happens because I'm like, what? Who is doing this to me? Anyway, they grow up meeting, talking a lot in the hospital, in like the game room. They play like Mario, things like that together. Then they like loosely stay in touch. It goes back and forth between like their past and like their present. They end up getting close, creating this game together while they're in college that like launches them into like stardom as game creators. They end up creating a company. Like Sadie ends up dating Sam's like best friend. After Sam like clearly has like kind of feelings about her, but he isn't sure what to do. Like it should not be categorized as romance at all, I would say. It is like, I don't even know. I cared so much about each character. I cared so much about the success of these characters. I I love how it explores platonic friendship. Yes, I love how it explores uh like how you feel when you have let someone down that you care about, and how you're not necessarily a bad person when you let people down. Like everyone's going to let someone down at some point. You have to learn how to admit that. I love how it explored grief. There is like a shooting at their workplace. And one of the main like folks like dies. And it talks a lot about the grief of that. It talks about like the like drowning you feel in motherhood. It also talks a lot, I feel like it does a great job of talking about uh I feel like it does a great job of talking about like it's fine for other people to make mistakes. I don't hold grudges for other people who are making mistakes, but like me, I'm not allowed to make any. Me, I'm holding myself to a higher standard, and I, would never make a mistake like that. And I am prideful, and I would never admit to the mistakes that I've made. And like, you do have to. It was so good. It was so good. It was by far one of the best books I've ever read in my life. I care so much for these characters. And I don't hope that there's a sequel or anything like that. I love them so much. It does a great job. It's tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Now, Ghost. It's right here on the screen. Relatable content, baby. So true, bestie. I love you so much. I've literally never had a piece of media that impacted me the way this book impacted me. Book club discussion next. Can we read the screen? We can't. Don't expect us to. Don't hold us to this impossible standard. My cheeks hurt from smiling. This was one of the best books I've just ever fucking read. I don't even have words for it. I love this book so much. Listen, if you can afford it, it's worth buying, because I'm certain you'll want to read it a second time. I loved it so much. I loved it so much. I feel like all my questions got answered. As we all know, that's my biggest pet peeve, when they don't. I wish it wasn't categorized as romance, because I just wouldn't say that. I would not say that it's romance. Yes. Oh, that's true. My one complaint about this book, and since we have a lot of smart and autistic people in the chat, maybe you won't have this problem. But me, there was a lot of words in this book I didn't know that I had to hold down and be like, what the fuck does this word mean? Grok? Who says that? I only know that's the word and how you pronounce it because I forget there's a word for it, but like, it's like you read and you learn a new word, and then all of a sudden you feel like you hear it like 4 times. And you're like, this is a word I just learned yesterday. Why have I said it? Why have I heard it like 4 times today? I was anti-reading it for a long time because of how popular it is, but one of my friends sent me her copy of the ARC. I gotta be honest, I have no idea what ARC means in this context. People use it, and I don't know what it means. How is it different than just saying book? This book explored so many things, but I didn't feel like it wasn't trying to cover too many things. Yes. Advanced reader copy. Thank you. Sometimes people say it, and it means like, not fan fiction, but it clearly means like world. Does that make sense? So it also has a different acronym, or the acronym also means something else. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, I love it so much. I don't remember what I started talking about. Yeah. I used to get them when I worked at a bookstore. They send them out before the final edit so you can read it and recommend it to customers. That's my dream. That is my dream, but also, do you see the book talkers who get 10 books a week? And it's like, they're never going to read all of those. I'm always like, this is a waste. Not a waste, but like, there's no way. They can't read all those. You cannot read every book in the world. And so I never want to be a book talker because I would feel way too much stress getting sent books and then feel bad for not reading them. I'm still laughing at myself. I was here for the creation of this overlay. It's okay, baby. It's okay. You're getting a PhD, so you don't have any more room in your brain. That's a really nice flute. On good reason, I don't believe they're reading everything they say they are. Yeah. It is incredible. I don't want to give away every single thing that happens. Because I do want more people to read it. It was so much better than I ever thought it could be. It was also incredibly easy to read. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Yes. There were words that I didn't know. It was a lot of French terms. I also, oh shoot. What was the word? Maladies. What? Who the fuck says maladies? No one. I've never heard of that word. Looked it up. It just means illness, by the way. Not a word. Not a word people say. I was like, what the fuck is maladies?
Morgan's like tipping her fedora.
Yeah, who the fuck says that? Me when I have a cold and I think I'm dying. Only Edward Cullen. Who the fuck says that? That's my only complaint. There's a lot of, guess what, I'm smart words. Because, like, one of them goes to Harvard and the other one goes to Yale.
And they both have autism, and the author probably has autism. That's the main thing now.
I say maladies when I want to emulate a little Victorian boy dying of big illness.
Where's the Transfigure Print Go stickers? I was going to give a couple to Kyle.
What? They're not even here, though. They're in that box.
Do you not want me to? I'm sending them with their
They're in the box. You're saying, oh, you're not just going to get the box, baby. The one you took out.
I didn't take this out.
Oh. You know what? Then I'm sorry for being snotty.
Thank you. That was very snotty. That was very snotty.
I didn't know it was sitting there already. I was like, why would you take it out and not open it?
You're so mean, girl. You didn't want them to have a couple?
No, that's fine. Well, let me look through them because I want to know which ones. Some of us don't have autism and don't know big words. Yes. Tip stethoscope, miladies. That's so funny, Dorian. Please write that down. I was like 4 times I was like, Phoebe, I've got a new list of words that aren't words anyone would ever use. They're not even book words. Again, grok. It just means like understand from what I understand. Because like and I only know that I love all of them so much. Okay, I'll keep this one. I love them all, though. Okay, these are the 2 that I want. I'm being really brave by letting you have this one.
Okay. I'm not going to take all of these.
I felt very clever. I did tell Phoebe, I would love for someone who has autism to read it. Because I feel like they both just have autism. Not both. All 3 of them, probably. All 3 of the main characters.
You have 2 of these.
Yeah, one's for you.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Very nice.
You are a bully.
Yeah, do you hear my husband's little voice?
You're making fun of you're being transphobic.
No.
You're a transphobe.
I'm being trans perverted. Because I'm flirting with you. How'd you get to be so cute?
You're creepy.
How was your little nap? Did you make the bed nice?
No.
Will you please make the bed nice?
No. Yeah.
I put it on hold, so I'll read it in 6 to 20 weeks. Perfect. My mother-in-law just got Fourth Wing, I think, yesterday, and I'm so excited for her to read it and to get all of her thoughts. Okay, this is the sticker that I kept, by the way. Look at this. So true, bestie. It's because they just woke up. Little handsome man voice. I like the part with the dragons. So true. I like that it says we've been streaming for 14 minutes. That's not true. That's not true. Very handsome, very sleepy. Dang, you've officially only done 14 minutes of work. Literally. How much was the other one before we lost it? Let me go look. Two hours and 12 minutes. So what, we're at 2.5 hours right now? That's how long stream has been to me. Someone who got to here 14 minutes ago. Yes. We did fit a lot into 14 minutes. I'm speaking on hyperdrive. That's me. Okay. Yeah. Does anyone have anything else to say about tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow? Other than it's incredible and amazing, and if you're like, I don't know if I need to read it, you don't need to. I'll never say that you have to read anything. It is so good, though. It's so good. If you aren't someone with like hyperlexia where you know a lot of words no one uses, you might have to do a lot of Googling of words. But other than that, it's incredible. He's back.
Tracking trade?
It's not in there. I think it's in the pink thing. Actually, I think I gave it to Mom.
And the pink thing?
Yeah. After we're done, it'll be yesterday and yesterday and yesterday. You're right. Yeah. Some stranger who's always breaking into my house to steal my things. Which seems like a crime. Okay. Let's see what else I want to talk about. I hated the first You book. Really liked Dark Matter. I really liked Seed. Now we could talk about Tender as the Flesh. Or I'm thinking of ending things. The girl bed is gone. No more girl Beth. We have a guest room now. Is Dark Matter getting a TV show? The girl chairs. Aren't they so cute? Okay, I'll do another poll. Okay. I'm thinking of ending things. It has a bunch of haters, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I'm thinking of ending. Okay, just TH then. Perfect. This thing between us. What was the other ones I was gonna say? Tender is the Flesh. It's a lot. I'm putting it on here. Let's do... Let's see. I'll do something also sooner that I read. Night Bitch. And Our Wives Under the Sea. Oh my god, I hit the wrong button. Alright, you get 5 options to choose from. I'm so excited, Ghost Boy. Book Witch. If you've already seen the movie, I think you're either going to really like or really hate the book. If you haven't read the book or seen the movie, I think you might like the book and you're going to hate the movie. I'm just voting on the cutest title. That's fine. It is dark trash panda. I would say, overall. I loved. Let's see. Let me see what I gave these. I'm thinking of ending things. I'll see if this affects your vote. I'm thinking of ending things. I definitely gave 5 stars. This thing between us, I gave 5 stars. Tender as the Flesh, I gave 2 stars. Night Bitch, I gave 4 stars. And Our Wives Under the Sea, I gave 3 stars. If that affects your vote. I am very excited to hear about someone reading Tender as the Flesh in the original Spanish. To see if it's any different. Now, Ghost Boy, did you already read it in English? Are people getting 3 Wives Under the Sea? I know, you need more wives. What are you saying wait what for? The Tender as the Flesh in Spanish? If you speak Spanish and you like horror and you already read, Tender as the Flesh, Ghost Boy is doing the work of reading it in Spanish, and if you would like to join them on their quest, Our Wives Under the Sea and I'm Thinking of Ending Things are neck and neck right now. Interlibrary loan. There was already a show called Dark Matter about a space adventure. The new one is different in case anyone Googles. Let me Google it while people are voting. Dark Matter. Blake Crouch is the author, I think. Yeah. TV show. What? Now, I bet it's on hold because of the strikes, though. Yeah. It was first announced in December 2020. The series was officially greenlit in March 2022, with Apple ordering 9 episodes. By September 2022, production began October 4th, 2022, and is expected to wrap by April 2023. Oh, so it might already be done before the strikes. I'm Thinking of Ending Things 1. Undersea Wolf Wives. I am so excited. I am so excited. I'm so excited because I'm curious if anyone in chat has read this. And if so, I'm sure you're a hater, and that's okay. Yes, it's called Exquisite Cadaver in Spanish. Isn't that Cuckoo Bananas? So, yeah. Oh, let me change everything. Oh my gosh, I almost just started talking like a fool. Yes, I love it. Good. Good, because other people don't. Okay. I don't think we need any content warnings, except one. I'll block out these 2 words. These 2 letters. I think that's the only one we would need. I wonder what... I didn't like it at first because of the ending, but the more I think of it from a literary analysis point, the more I like it. Okay. We're switching books. We're switching books. We're switching to a different book. Oh, wait. Let me fix it on this one because I'm sure it looks silly. Okay. We're switching to a different book. This is the book that we're switching to. I'm so excited about the Dark Matter show. Hello, welcome back, Paper. Thank you. I love it too. I'm having a good time. Welcome in. Glad that you're here. We've lots to discuss. I just remembered I forgot to take my medication this morning. So I guess I will do that. I'll do that now. Before I forget. I love the way it feels to be a hater. All right. Is everyone ready? Med check. Take your meds, drink your water. Let me know what you need. Write it down. Think of your thoughts. Okay. I'm Thinking of Ending Things was one of my favorite reads of 2022. I'm going to read the synopsis. Okay, this is the synopsis. I'm thinking of ending things. Once this thought arrives, it stays. It sticks. It lingers. It's always there. Always. Jake once said, sometimes a thought is closer to truth, to reality, than action. You can say anything, you can do anything, but you can't fake a thought. And here's what I'm thinking. I don't want to be here. And that's like an excerpt. Then it says, in this smart and intense literary suspense novel, Ian Reid explores the depths of human psyche, questioning consciousness, free will, the value of friendships, fear, and the limitations of solitude. Reminiscent of Joe Saramago's early work, Michael Faber's cult classic Under the Skin, and Lionel Shriver's We Need to Talk About Kevin, your dread and unease will mount with every passing page of this edgy, haunting debut. Tense, gripping, and atmospheric, I'm Thinking of Ending Things pulls you in from the very first page and never lets you go. I read this book, I think, all in one day. What I will say, so that people can bounce if they want to, if you're doing our summer reading challenge, there's one that's like, hang on, let me just pick up Phoebe's. There's one that's like a book that a friend loves. If I'm your friend, this would be an easy one for that square. It would be easy for that one. It would be easy for your choice. It would be easy for already seen the movie, if you've already seen the movie. That's probably it. Or less like genre, if you're not normally a suspense girly. I loved it. So, the way that this is written is so interesting to me. It's mostly written from the girlfriend's perspective, whose name I don't remember, which I think is also part of it. She is thinking of breaking up with her boyfriend. And she is with that boyfriend on a long trip to go visit his parents. His parents are like super fucking weird. The vibes are weird. Everything is just like off. This book gaslights you. So just know that if you're thinking of reading it. So there's like, you'll be on like page 4 and it'll say like something about how like, I think her name's Katie. It'll say something about how the main character's like a writer. But then in like 50 pages, she'll be like, oh yeah, because I am a student in school to be a chemical engineer. And then in another like 10 pages, she'll say something about how she works at a pet store. And you're like, is she just really busy? Or is she, like, is nothing consistent? And that's what it is. This entire book is gaslighting you to be like, did I misread something before? And it's just so interesting. I feel other people hated it. So it's like she'll talk about how like the mom has like short blonde hair, and then a few pages later it'll be like her hair's like long and gray. And then you're like, "Oh, wait. Okay." See, my first thought would be, "Oh, I'm dumb. I thought she said something else earlier." No, it's literally just gaslighting you. It's a well done, unreliable narrator. Um, I really liked it. If you saw the movie, the first hour, I would say, of that movie is perfect. It's exactly now paper. I would say in the book, yes. It's exactly what the novel's like, where there's just like slight differences every now and then. Yes, trash. I think it's supposed to be about how like what is true. I think it's supposed to be about like that is the horror of it, is the uneasiness of like something being like just slightly off than you remember it just a few minutes ago. Um the book, sorry, not the book, the movie is so strange. It's like star studded. There's so many famous people in it. Um and the movie I feel like makes no sense. The ending made no sense at all. And I feel like it's about nothing. So the movie, written wise, was horrible in my opinion. The acting, the directing, so fucking good. So good. The ending is completely different in the movie, and I have really big feelings about it. And I don't remember specifically about how the movie ends. Like, I remember what was different, if that makes sense. But the book, the way the book ends, so basically you're reading this 200-page book. You're going through, and like, I think her name's Katie. It doesn't matter. The main character is like, she's like having the ick about her boyfriend. Her parents are really fucking weird. There's like a basement that they're just kind of like acting like it isn't there. And like she's like, what's in there? What's making that noise? Something like that. And they're like, don't worry about it. By the way, we don't come back to that. Sorry, but also like I do think it. I know I'm normally like I don't like when things represent things, but I do think it's supposed to represent something. You read the whole book. You get to the end of the book, and you find out that like. Okay, I'm literally about to spoil the whole book, so I am pausing for a second. All right. You get to the end of the book of I'm thinking of ending things. All throughout the book, obviously the main character's been like, oh my god, my boyfriend's so weird. Like, I'm thinking of ending things. Like, you know, I'm glad that his family's like being nice, but they're so weird. I'm thinking of ending things. So you're like, this is about her breaking up with her boyfriend. As you keep reading, the girlfriend actually only exists in the mind of the boyfriend. She's not real. So Katie and Jake are the same person. Not in like a DID way. So don't think that. It's like it's just to be strange for the reader. And then how do you very Fight Club, yeah. How do you end things with someone who is actually you? I think we all know. So then I'm thinking of ending things becomes I'm thinking of ending me. And you go through the last part of the book is like going through this man's life as he's like grown and is an adult now. And he's like much older than you thought he was, but also time has actually passed, I think. And he killed himself. Okay, and I know that it's so interesting. I felt it was really interesting. I loved it. I really, so true, Squid. I really enjoyed it. I borrowed this from the library. I think I'm definitely eventually going to buy my own copy. And I've never annotated, but I think I might. I want to see, like, how often something, like, just changes about the main character. And then I also want to know how many times... No. Trash? No. The first hour of the film is exactly like the book. And so I was like, this is about to be one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. And then the entire second half is completely fucking different.
I'm leaving. You need tampons?
Yes.
Do you need anything else?
More command strips.
Command strips, tampons, ibuprofen.
Yes.
Text me if you need anything.
Okay. I'll miss you, though. The film is very abstract. There's things that happen for no reason in the movie, in my opinion. The ending is like him performing a song from a musical in like horrible old age makeup, and also all of the characters that you've seen throughout the movie are in the audience. And I was like, okay, this is more like meta, I guess, than I thought it was going to be. And then it's just like he goes to the school he works at, and I think he just like freezes to death, like naked for some reason. And like I feel like you never understand that like the girlfriend was him. She just like disappears, if I remember right. I feel like the film, again, the actors and the directing, 10 out of fucking 10, so incredible. The way that the, what do they call it when it's like the script writer, the way that the script is written, no fucking sense. It is so cuckoo bananas. Now, if you're the kind of person who smokes the devil's lettuce, or partakes in other things similar to that, it might be interesting to do that and then watch this cuckoo bananas film. But that's it. I don't think other than that there's any real reason to watch the... Yeah. Yes. I more or less understood what happened, then looked into the film and learned about the book ending to get confirmation. Yeah. Yes. We can watch the trailer. The trailer is really interesting. Hold on. Let's do this. Perfect. In case anyone's interested. But just in the trailer, I don't know if you noticed, but her hair changes. Her outfit changes. The mom's hair, I think, also changed in the trailer. And like the dog shaking for too long. It's the kind of film that wants you to feel uncomfortable. Exactly.
Thank you, ending.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here. We're talking about books. Hello, little baby Reed. Welcome in. I'm glad that you're here. We're talking about books. I'm talking about I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was one of my favorite books of last year. I loved it. If you hated it, that's so fair. It has very mixed reviews on Goodreads. It looks like most of the people I'm friends with gave it really good views. Someone named Amethyst gave it 1 star. Other than that, yeah, it's on Kindle Unlimited. Yeah, we recorded a little Muppet thing for when people raid, and it's so nice. Listen, Amethyst is entitled to their review. If someone explained this book to me, I would be like, that sounds horrible. I love the book. Everyone I know who watched the movie first also loved the book. If you read the book first, I think you'll hate the movie. And not hate. Again, like, it is... I loved the book so much, and the first hour of the movie was so incredible. It's just that they completely fucking changed the ending in the movie. And some people feel like it's not like that changed. It's just like a different way to get to the same solution. But I feel like that's changing it. Yeah. It looks like most people give it 4 stars. I loved it. It's called I'm Thinking of Ending Things. And it... Oh, what genre? Thriller? I would say. Suspense, I would say, is probably the closest, I guess. You're in suspense the whole time because nothing is true. Nothing ever. Nothing. Don't even get comfortable in anything because none of it's true. It's Unreliable Narrator, the book. That sort of just feels like living with ADHD. You're not wrong. Yes. You're absolutely right. The movie was fun, but then the ending felt very cis male lens the entire time, if you catch my drift. Yes, which is not a crime, but yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Whereas I felt like the book was like, not really through a female lens, but like a much more like relatable, maybe? Not relatable as in I feel that way, but relatable as in like I can relate to the character. Like if I were this character, I can see how they came to this conclusion. Does that make sense? I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Loved it so much. Hello. I'm proud of you, Ghost Boy. Goodbye. I loved it so much. What was the other ones that I said on this poll? Our Wives Under the Sea was second. Our Wives Under the Sea was second. Sorry, I'm talking about This Thing Between Us instead. And then I'll probably end stream. And we might have another Bookish stream tomorrow. I'm not sure. Here it is. I liked Our Wives Under the Sea. I didn't love it. Okay, here's this. This Thing Between Us, 2021. Okay, spoilers. Oh, must so god, I can't spell. Okay, there's that. Let me update the content warning. There's that one. Let me update it here. Oh, must so good. If I could type just correctly once. Oh, I could probably fit this all in one. Is it This Thing Between Us? Okay, yes. I was going to look like a fool if it was actually The Thing Between Us. And I was going to be like, that's uncomfortable. Okay. We're switching books. Hello, Myth. Welcome in. Oh my god, can you please be normal? There we go. Have fun, look. It's so good. We can do that. We can do that. We can do that. The problem is I don't know where to put it. In the chatting thing. Because look how even everything is. However, I will show it to you because it's a really good cover. Get out of here, you stupid little advertisement. I feel like it's a really good cover. Images. Okay, why would I want that teeny tiny image? Visit. No, open. There we go. This is what the cover of this one looks like. Oh, I see. Yeah. So it's like all of these little lines. Yes. No, it's on purpose. Thank you. It's on purpose because Seven, one of our mods, was trying to say doubloons. But instead said tableau pants. Thank you. For the trans space, I'm considering putting a graphic novel whose author uses they them pronouns. That counts. My husband, whom I asked, I said, can I put an author who uses he they pronouns? And they said, yeah. And I said, perfect. Oh my god, don't apologize. That's a very fair question. As I misspell everything all the time. I love my children. I love my children who are just little fiends for books. Okay, this thing between us, let's go. This is our last one for today. I am going to read the synopsis. The biggest content warning I would give going into this, if you haven't clicked on the does the dog die, the dog does die. There's animal death. Were they assigned non-binary at birth? If not, probably trans. No, but I think it's a fair question because I do know that there are like non-binary people out there who don't consider themselves trans, but I feel like they're not cis, right? So, okay. It won a Goodreads Choice Award. So, relevant, I guess. Okay. It was Vera's idea to buy the Itza, the world's most advanced smart speaker. Didn't interest Tiago. Tiago? If anyone speaks Spanish, let me know. But Vera thought it would be a bit of fun for them amidst all the strange occurrences happening in the condo. It made things worse. The cold spots and scratching in the walls were weird enough, but peculiar packages started showing up at the house. Who ordered Industrial Lie? Then there was eerie music at odd hours. Tiago waking up to the Itza projecting light shows to an empty room. It was funny and strange right up until Vera was killed, and then world would become unbearable. Pundits and politicians all looking to turn his wife's death into a symbol for their own agendas. A barrage of texts from her well-meaning friends about letting go and moving on, walking to the sound of Itza talking softly to someone in the living room. The only thing left to do was to get far away from Chicago, away from everything and everyone. A secluded cabin in Colorado seemed like the perfect place to hole up with his crushing grief. But soon Tiago realizes there's no escape, not from his guilt, not from his simmering rage, and not from the evil hunting him, feeding on his grief, determined to make a way into this world. A bold original horror novel about grief, loneliness.
Hi all. Hope everyone is having a good week so far.
Hello. about grief, loneliness, and oppressive intimacy of technology. This thing between us marks the arrival of a spectacular new talent. That's fair, not so binary art, and you're right. But I feel like if you feel like it fits, then it fits. Hold on, there's an ad. No, oh my god, you're fine. You're fine. Don't ever apologize. Never go to a cabin to escape. Yes. Okay, did anyone tell me how to say his name? Because I read it as Thiago the whole time because I'm white. But it's probably Tiago, I guess. Or like Tiago. But, you know. Anyway. Oh, hold on. I keep getting text messages from my father-in-law. I presume it's probably a picture about cats. It's not. I love this book. Oh, that's a good point. This is how it's spelled. Wait, hang on. No, that's right. Anyway, I loved it so much. This is one of the only books in my entire life where I literally was afraid to go to sleep. The reason being, their Itza's what they call it. It's clearly Alexa. Obviously. So that's scary because we all have one, right? Like, not we all, I guess, but like a lot of people do. And that is a huge part of the horror in this is her listening and being creepy. It also does a really great job of talking about like that feeling that like something is like just behind you, but you can't quite put like a finger on it. Very, very descriptive of that. Tiago, nice. It also, if you are my husband or someone similar to my husband, and you have a really big fear of your significant other dying, I say skip this one because it is very descriptive in like the grief that lies with that, the grief and like the guilt of like being someone who like survived. Also like the way that she dies is very like random person on the subway pushes her down the stairs by accident and she cracks her head open. So like very random. Which is scary in itself. It's so good. It's so good. He also like ends up with this, when he gets to the cabin, he ends up with this dog, the one who will eventually die, who also gets in like this crazy random accident. Yeah, if you're someone who struggles with like worst case scenario when someone doesn't answer a single text message, maybe skip this one. I am not someone who like really struggles with those kind of intrusive thoughts, so like I am fine. But like literally as I read it, I was like, Phoebe, you can't read this one. This one's not for you. It also like something else that I think it does really well when it comes to the grief of losing someone is it's not just sad. It's him being like talking as if she's still alive. Do not read this book if you have OCD. I mean, if you've like contamination OCD, which is like closer to what I am mostly struggle with, not a lot of problems. My repetitive thoughts, well, I guess I won't say them on stream. Actually, I take it back. But they're not like that. They're not things like this. Anyway, but it's so interesting. So interesting. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So, like, I feel like we've all lost someone, probably, I'm sure. Maybe some of us have lost someone closer to us than others. But like something that I think a lot of books that talk about grief don't discuss is like it's not just like overwhelming sadness that you're feeling all the time. So like when you're thinking about that person, you're not always like so sad. Sometimes you're like, oh my God, I fucking wish you could see this. So like in this book and at her funeral, he's like, I wish you were here so we could talk about how absolutely fucking messy your aunt was, because she's like drunk and embarrassing. And like our favorite thing to do on the way home from events is to like make fun of her. And I wish you were here so we could make fun of her. And like, I don't know. I feel like there's like something really relatable about that. Something I like when I'm reading a book and it's like, oh, like we're all human. Yeah, it's complex. It's kind of like when someone like talks about how like all of us experience that thing where, I don't know, where like you first, when like you're laying in your bed and you feel like you're falling out of nowhere. Like every person has like had that happen to them. And it's like, oh, we're all just like silly little guys and like little flesh bags who experience some of the same things. You know? I think that part of it is like really nice, I guess is the word. Grief is often depicted very badly, yes. And I think this does a great job with it. If you are, it obviously depends on how you typically handle things you've gone through. I love to read about people who have mothers similar to me, people who have like the same like type of childhood trauma, people who have like the same type of other deaths that like I've gone through, like having a really close friend die, or like someone dying by their choice. I like reading about those things because I feel less alone. I currently do not like reading about like miscarriage if it's really like descriptive. So like in Things Have Gotten Worse Since We Last Spoke, there is like, could be worse, but like a pretty descriptive pregnancy loss, like a couple of pages, and I just skimmed them because like it was talking about the gore of it all, and I can't read that. It's the only thing really that I like to be warned about if it's gonna be like really descriptive child death. That's so fair, Arrow. That's the whole thing though. Like I feel like that's what's really nice about living in the future is like you can look up those things, or if a book gets recommended to you by someone, they can be like, oh hey, I know you really hate this thing. But almost otherwise I feel like less alone when I read about anything else stressful. So like and my therapist was like, that's super normal, to be clear. But like I really liked reading I'm Glad My Mom Died, because I felt validated, and I'm glad that people who didn't experience this are reading it, because the next time someone's like, but that's your mom, I'm gonna be like, actually, did you read this book? Okay. My mom is like that mom. And I don't, would you want to talk to her? No. It's a mix of reliving things and feeling bad, but then half the time I'm feeling better and validated. Yeah. Yeah, Jeanette McCurdy's book. Yeah. And for some people, they never want to read anything like that's similar to what they've been through, which is fine. Some people only want to read like predictable, easy, low stakes books. Me, I want to read high stakes. So this book, excuse me, incredibly high stakes. Okay, I'm about to really get into the plot here and spoil it. So if you're at all interested in horror, I super recommend this. If you want to read it, you should bounce. It is like, the genre it's labeled as is like horror fiction and then like paranormal. Paranormal is really good. So basically what happens, this guy's wife dies, like she's already dead at the very beginning. The way she dies is, like I said, it's like a random accident. She's in the subway, which has like concrete stairs to get up and down. And this kid is like running away from something, and he is not white, and he's an immigrant. And he runs into this guy's wife, Vera is her name, and like pushes on her by accident, and she like falls down the stairs, cracks her head open, she's gone. Random accident done by like this undocumented child. So what happens is these politicians use her death to be like, immigrants are bad, ba 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 ba. So this man, the husband of this woman, is trying to deal with the grief of losing his favorite person in the world. And politicians are like, can we interview you so you can talk about how you hate immigrants? Can we interview you so you can talk about how if it was harder to be a citizen and live in this country, then like your wife would be alive? And he's like, no, because that's not fucking true. Number one. Number two, like, neither of them are white. So he's like, why the fuck would I say that? Like, why the fuck would I do that? So, like, he already can't grieve in, like, peace. That's part of it. So he is not sleeping well. He can't talk to his wife about it, obviously, because she's gone. His wife's mother, who he never really got along with, she was, like, his wife was an only child, so, like, the mother has, like, kind of nothing else now, so she keeps bothering him as well. And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna move. He takes, like, he wins, like, a bunch of money from her death, I think, because they had, like, really good insurance policies, or life insurance policies. And so he takes that money, buys a house, middle of nowhere. Always goes well, right? I think we all famously know that goes well every time someone does that. So he moves to this cabin in the woods with the snow in Colorado. Oh, also, sorry. Before he moves, the Itza thing. Itza, which is clearly an Amazon robot circle, is like playing weird music in the middle of the night and like turning lights on and off that she's not supposed to. And like, we'll just be talking. I think we've all had at least one robot lady do something when we didn't ask her. And you're like, why is she talking? Yes. This is why this book kept me up. Because, like, we've all had that happen at least once. And, like, it is so... It doesn't have to describe it that much when it happens because we can all picture it. If you woke up in the middle of the night to her in the other room saying, like, I can't answer that command. I can't answer that command. I can't answer that command. Like, please unplug and replug in. Or, like, whatever. I refuse to have any devices in my house purely to combat that fear. And you're smart. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is we can all picture it. And then also, because she's, like, a smart device, she's in charge of, their, like, lights and things. And so he keeps... Thank you. He keeps, like, waking up... When he wakes up to pee in the middle of the night, there's, like, a light that shines through his window. Thank you. I'm an actress. And it's, like, where he tries to go. He keeps, like, thinking it's the door. They explain it really well, but it's, like, he keeps trying to think the window's a door as he's waking up in the middle of the night. And, which is, like, a theme, right? So, anyway, he moves to this cabin. He doesn't bring the robot with him. The robot's kind of gone. It doesn't come back. It's just, like, one of the many ways this, like, thing is torturing him. I can do it later. Anyway, goes to this cabin. There's a dog, like, outside, already there, and he just kind of, like, ends up with the dog. Oh, not outside. He, like, follows him to a store. I forgot. He, like, goes to this town doctor. He's like, hey, can you scan for a chip? Like, whose dog is this? The guy's like, not anyone's dog. Sounds like it's your dog now. And the main character's like, great, now I have this dog. You get, like, the tiniest bit attached to him. He takes the dog on a walk, and they find this, like, huge fucking wall in the middle of the forest he lives in. Yeah, there's always a dog. He comes up on the wall, and he can't, like, figure out why it's there, but the dog is, like, losing his mind, barking, all that fun stuff. He's like, whatever, I don't know why there's a fucking huge wall in the middle of the forest. But here we go. He ignores it, goes back to his house. Then, like, he looks out the window and the wall has, like, moved closer to his, Gus Moreno. To his house, so it's, like, a huge fucking wall that can move on its own. And he's like, fuck that. Nope, Not messing with that. So he stays inside. He lets the dog out to pee at one point, and the dog, like, digs up this, like, bomb, I guess, that was buried in the forest. And he gets, like, sprayed with this, like, poison. So he has to take the dog. It's very descriptive. I would like you to know, if you are the kind of person who sometimes is fine with animal death as long as it's, like, breezed over, this is not. It is very descriptive of what this dog looks, smells, and acts like as he is hit with this, like, poison. Me, I'm fine with that, but just to warn you guys. Now, if you think you're brave enough to, like, skim over that part, it is kind of all together, so I do think you could just kind of skim over it, but be warned. Goes to the vet. The vet's like, I'm so sorry. This dog's dead. Like, you gotta take him home and bury him. And, like, I'm so sorry that you only got to love this dog for, like, a week, and now he's gone. Goes home. There's, like, a bunch of things he has to do to get the ground, like, soft enough to bury him, because it's, like, frozen, which I've never thought about in my life, but, like, it was a lot of work. He buries the dog, and then he goes to where the wall was yesterday, and the wall's, like, gone, and he's like, okay, maybe I'm just, like, going cuckoo bananas with grief. Whatever. Goes inside. There's, like, a bookshelf. A book falls off the bookshelf, and when he opens it, when he opens the book, it's not like this book, it's not the story that's supposed to be inside. It says, like, it's me, over and over. And he's like, is this Vera? And then another book falls off, and it's like, yes. And then he's like, I need proof that it's you. Like, how do I know that you're not someone else? And it's like another book falls off, and it's like their old address and their, like, anniversary date or something. And he's like, oh my God, like, you know, she's speaking to me. How do I get you back? And then it says, like, go through the wall. Something like that. And he's like, I don't know what that means. Then he hears barking. What? The dog's dead. Who's barking? It's the dog. He's not dead. Except something's off about him. He is slightly different. He lets the dog in. Mistake. And the dog's normal. He's being super normal. He's like, this is definitely the same dog. What the fuck? Takes him to the vet. He's like, hey, is this not my dog? Didn't you say he was dead yesterday? And the vet's like, he was dead. I don't know what trick you're trying to pull on me, mister, but I'm a small town vet, and I won't be having your big city tricks. Just because you have another dog that looks exactly the same, you won't fool me? And he was like, this isn't a trick, buddy. I don't know what happened. And then, obviously, he's going to explain it away to himself, right? So he's like, I guess he wasn't dead yesterday, and I guess he dug himself up, like, you know, okay. Dog's back, dog's super normal. Then, like, I don't remember how exactly it happens, or in what order it happens. But essentially, over the next 10% of the book, he keeps having creepy things happen to him in this cabin. He goes outside with the dog. The dog is no longer acting normal. The dog is acting, in fact, incredibly unnormal. He has to, like, fight the dog with a shovel. Again, very descriptive about the injuries that the dog receives and that the man receives from the dog. The wall has come back. He sets the wall on fire and hits it with his truck. As he goes to hit it with his truck, the wall completely fucking disappears. And he's like, how the fuck is this happening? Eventually his mother-in-law shows up and she, like, believes him they are like calling everyone they can think of who is like a witch or like an old this or that or da 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 da. And eventually they call the woman who used to live in their old apartment before they did, or their old house before they did. And she only speaks Spanish. And Tiago, he talks about it a lot, but like he is Latino, but doesn't speak Spanish. So like his family all spoke Spanish. He never learned it because he grew up in the U.S. And so this woman's like really snotty to him because he doesn't know Spanish. And all he can like make out is her saying like, I put him back, or like I thought I fixed it. Something like that. Something very vague. I closed the door. That's what she says. Something like that. And he is like, what the fuck? That doesn't help me. That doesn't mean anything. Blah, 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 blah. A bunch of other things happen. He goes back. The wall is still there, and he hears like his wife through it. And he's like, it says it's working for me. Is anyone else not seeing me? Oh, okay. I'll do refresh. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, weird. Super weird. Anyway, he hears his wife, like, through the wall. He walks through the wall, but it's just, like, this man. I forgot an entire part. Something else I forgot. Sorry. If you're bored with me doing this, then you could leave at any point. I wouldn't be offended. But anyway, when he was moving from Chicago to the middle of nowhere, Colorado, he stops at this diner because he gets lost. And there's only this, like, super fucking creepy man working there. And he is talking to this man. He's like, hey, I'm lost. I'm trying to get to the middle of nowhere, Colorado, blah, 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 blah. And this man is like, something's like just like off about him. But like, Tiago can't really like put his finger on it. The guy like doesn't really give him good directions. And Tiago's like, okay, thanks. And he goes like back the way he came to try and get back on the interstate. He looks in his rear view mirror. This is before he ever gets to the cabin. And he thinks he sees, and he's like, no, I must be imagining things. It's so descriptive. This is another one of the reasons I didn't sleep at night. It's so descriptive. I'm going to try and do it as brief as possible. But he sees, like, the diner man with his head, like, creepsy-weepsy. And he's, like, crawling and moving like a spider really quickly in, like, the shadow behind him as he's driving. And he stops and he like looks back and there's nothing. And he's like, okay, like I'm just fucking sleepy. Like, live action daddy long legs, so true. Anyway, fast forward to where I was. So he's like fighting the dog with his mother-in-law. He finally gets to like a resting point, essentially. The dog is like dead again. His mother-in-law, I think, is asleep, and he hears his wife. He goes out, goes to the wall, crawls through the wall. It's like an Alice in Wonderland scene. And the diner guy is, like, in there. And he's like, hey, it's time for you to join us. And the guy's like, no. And he's like, yeah, I set this all up for you. I set everything up for you. And he's, like, being creepy, obviously. And he's like, it's time for you to join us. It's time for you to join us. It's time for you to eat. You have to eat. Sit at the table with us. If you just sit at the table, like, you know, I'll get your wife. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm not ready to be dead. Blah, blah, blah. And so you're like, okay, I guess the creepy guy is like the devil or God or something. Leaves the wall. Some other stuff happens. He eventually comes back to the wall. And because he's like experiencing so much other grief. I think the mother-in-law dies. Like, he has no one in this life. He goes back through the wall. The diner man's like, it's time for you to join us. You just have to do one thing. And he's like, what? And he's like, go through this other, like, door or go through something else. Like, keep going until you see your wife, and then you'll be fine. And then you can be here with us forever or whatever. And he's like, okay, like, whatever. I want to see my wife again. So he goes, and what he sees is the kid who killed his wife running down the stairs towards him. And he yells and tries to stop that kid. And so the kid turns around to look at him. And when he does, that's when the kid bumps into his wife and she falls and dies. Because the kid, like, wasn't looking at her. Because he was looking at this man. So it's also a horror because, oops, he's the reason his wife died because of some weird time travel thing. Yes. Which is horrible. And I loved it. And then he gets to, like, be in this weird after space. Then, the creepiest part, I'm really curious if there's an audiobook of this. The creepiest part is the last 3 pages of this book is someone saying, like, hi, welcome to your new Itza machine. Like, please select language. Please select light control. Da 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 da. And then it says, like, I've been watching you. I've been watching you. I've been watching you. Over and over and over is, like, the last, like, 2 pages of the entire book. It's, like, something to that effect. Yeah, it's either, like, I've been watching you or, like, you'll never escape or... It was so good. It is like a Black Mirror episode. It was so good. It's also only 272 pages. So less than 300 pages. I also read this one in, like, less than a day. I wish I had it right now. I think I'm going to buy a copy of this one as well. I think this is his first book. Isn't that what they said? It's a lot. It's so good. If you're at all interested in horror, I would super recommend it. Hang on. Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah. Moral of the story, don't try to change the past because you might. Yeah. It's so interesting. It's so much to happen in such a short book. So much. So much. Okay, my darlings. That's all for Bookish stream. We got interrupted in the middle and now we have 2 streams, but what else can you do? I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Maybe more books. Maybe I really want to play Security Breach, so we might also do that. I loved it. I'm so glad I could tell everyone about my favorite books. It might be what we always do on Tuesday, or like maybe do it like once a month. I don't know. We'll see. Hello, I'm so glad you're here. I am ending stream though, so I'm so sorry. I've been here since 8 and it's 11:45. I gotta go have lunch. I appreciate you guys. I love you. I hope you have a good day. I will see you soon. Goodbye.